so every week it seems like we've always had like a we always have a story of just going down memory lane. And it's funny, I was me and my couple of buddies were working on the project essentially, independent of anything that we were working together. And there was always that one guy that comes in, it seems like, and ruins everything, right? And it's funny because like a situation basically just fell through, and a couple of fellas were trying to do something business wise, and it kind of fell through because of one individual's energy just kind of ruins the vibe for everybody. And I was just thinking about all the times it used to happen, like all the course of time. Like I've tried multiple times to be an entrepreneur, multiple times, right? And there's always like that one person that kind of like the vibe is ruined. And then for some reason, because my mind just goes on a tangent, as you can see, that's how I talk here on the podcast. But then I started thinking about all the times where a vibe was set, right? You called, you hit your text on a Friday, on a Thursday or a Friday, early afternoon, you set the play, and they all want to come through and hang out. So you get your homeboys, because there's more than a couple of them. And there's always that one fella sometimes that, I don't know about everybody's crew, but there's always that one fella that you have to think about. We can't invite him. We may or may not be able to bring him over because he may ruin the And the funny thing about it is that we used to hang out with each other in college, so I don't want to incriminate anybody here. But I don't want to incriminate anybody. But I just want to thought about it, like that fella always exists, huh?
Always, right? All the time.
There's always that one fella.
Depends on how big your crew is. It only happens if your crew's too big. So I think anything more than two is too big. Because when it's always like, because when it's 1-on-1, everyone kind of feels obligated. But when it's 3, you always have that one friend that's like, I ain't fucking nobody, girl. And then she wants to make everyone else's mood just like a Debbie Downer.
I don't know. No, I agree. I mean, I'd not coming to that, but
my bad, Red. I spoke too much. Boy. So I was looking around like 5.
We'll warm up to that, but yeah, I mean, twat blocking is real, and like you get like 2 to 3.
That wasn't that much better, Tim. I just
good job, Tim. Let it be part of the team out here. We don't give a damn. I'm married now. I don't do these things
anymore. Your ad can go right here. Man. Go ahead.
Because I mean, I think back in the day, there was a formula of that. I think it was me and you maybe came up with, of like you could only have 2 to 3 people, and after that it's just kind of a free for all party, whatever, like whatever goes, kind of whatever goes. Yeah, like it's.
I had a policy that I would not bring any. I wouldn't bring anybody around unless what I was already doing was already firmly established.
As far as like the one that you want is firmly established.
Rather it be like casual or confirmed. Like I need to make sure that whatever I'm doing is already established, because I understood.
Oh, you a selfish nigga, huh?
No, I just understood. I just understood.
I was.
Hold on. I just understood that there were a lot of. I just understand that there was a lot of variables. There was a lot of uncontrolled variables, and I just need to know if like one of my homeboys accidentally says the wrong things, I need to make sure that whatever it is that I was trying to do cannot be affected by that. So I would make sure that there's whatever is being, whether it be physical, whether it be just whatever is already communicated, already established, whatever the case may be, there's already an understanding before.
This nigga's the most PC nigga I've ever heard, boy.
No, what are we talking about PC?
All I know is we both were in agreement, so whatever's supposed to happen.
No, I'm just saying, like, to me, I just need confirmation, because this is what it is. Because I've seen it happen. I had a situation. I ain't gonna tell anybody names, but I had a situation where this fellow of mine, right? Fellow of mine, he somehow just happened to just we happened to go to a party, and there was this very attractive girl there, and you know, I dropped the ball, he caught it, and he caught it, and we were proud of him. Like, he caught it, good for him, right? And we were just waiting for him to carry it into the end zone, right? That's what we were waiting for him to do. And you know, for whatever reason, I told him before, I was like, look, hey fella, before you bring her around the crew, I'm gonna need you to confirm what you're doing first, because we don't have a crew that is like conducive for that. Like, have to make sure, and this is back home, this is not college, so no one that we know mutually will be offended by this, but you need to make sure that you take care of that, because there's too many variables, uncontrolled variables. He did not listen to me. We threw a hotel party. This girl liked him, so brought her whole crew, all her friends over, you know, right? All of them were attractive. So we were super excited. And then once again, my homeboy comes in. I guess the hotel people told him to turn the noise down. He heard we have to kick everybody out. He comes, everybody get the fuck out. Needless to say, my homeboy never saw those girls ever again.
Bro, that's
never
horrible.
again. And so to me, it's like, when I look at that, I go, well. So I asked him, I was like, so afterwards, I was like, so fam, did you get an understanding before you brought over? Nah, man. I mean, we were supposed to do after the party. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
No. Didn't establish yourself.
I mean, you gotta establish yourself, man. I mean, listen, I mean, what, like I said, man, there's different personalities. And I mean, you know what personality you gel with, you know what personality, you like. I mean, that goes with anything. Like when you're working on anything, like you played sports.
True.
You can't hoop with everybody.
True. I mean, I guess
you can. I think you can
this,
hoop with everyone.
Yeah,
No,
I was about to say you can you have to kind of tweak your game when you play with certain people, but you could gel.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you won't like have that chemistry, but you'll be like, he's gonna do this bullshit, so I need to blah blah blah, put myself in position to whatever. But
let me rephrase that. You cannot hoop. You can't hoop your best with everyone. Is that fair?
That's true.
That's a fair statement.
That's true.
Okay, there you go. And that's all I'm saying.
That's true.
But it's just some people are selfish. Some people, like so the thing about the male psyche, this is the thing. The male psyche is so fragile. And if you're confident, or if you are secure in yourself, it can create like a whirlwind, because I mean, that energy can be received poorly, but by the guy next to you, but because you guys are in a big group, you know what I'm saying, and maybe he's friends with your friend or whatever, that individual that probably will never get addressed, because you don't want to ruin the vibe of everything, but that energy is still there. Yeah. Like, we have guys where like that guy doesn't necessarily get along with that guy, but they come in the same area because everyone's cool with each other.
Right.
Why would I bring a girl into that situation that I haven't, that I don't have an understanding with?
I don't know if you need the understanding part.
Because he was drunk. He was trying to.
I don't think you need that, to be real. Like in those situations,
you don't need the chemistry or the.
You don't need
the understanding.
The understanding, like I don't know. I don't think that's I guess I've always gone into it with just whatever happens. Like I really don't care. Like, and I think that used to work out best. Like back in my old days, me and another young fella, I won't say no names, but we had a dynamic duo.
You talking about Bob?
You talking about Tommy?
But anyways, it was like because we didn't have those expectations, it was we had one goal is to get laid. So if the girl decided that she wanted him versus me or vice versa, we were like, switch. And it wasn't like I don't want to take this from us. I only fuck the baddest bitches. We were just like, well, we gotta take one for the team. Shit, I don't know. And that's just how it was. and we always seemed to work out perfect. But like then you get into like groups of niggas that, like you guys said, maybe you can't hoop the best with everyone. So in those times you gotta kind of go, just don't confuse the ladies, please. Just don't confuse them.
Just know your position. You're a
just
one, you're not a five.
like don't be in the center and you're the point guard. Like we can't do this, guys. What are we doing?
I think sometimes it's funny, like when we get together, when men get together, oftentimes in those situations, like first and foremost, if you're lucky enough to get a group of girls to come over to wherever you're at, right? Because not everyone was doing that. Like I know everyone. I know this is the podcast. Or I say for myself, I will speak very candidly about like just be honest. Like you're not gonna get a group of women over every weekend. It's not going to happen. There's guys that pretended they did that every weekend. There was a lot of 2K being played over there. But anyways, every weekend is not what happens.
Don't you hate that? You're like, yeah, they say they coming. You look at your phone. They come a little later.
and you done played several rounds of 2K. Several rounds.
That nigga, it's 4:00 in the morning. You and your nigga still playing 2K. He's like, are they coming? Like, and we still got hope too. They coming? Yeah, man. They say as soon as they get the club, they coming. You finally
Like,
get the hey man, I'm finna go home, dog. All right, man. I guess
I'm saying, so if you're lucky enough, right? If you're lucky enough to get a group of girls to come over, right? The concept of like you have to have standards for yourself. I think everyone's in agreement with that, correct?
Standards of what?
You should have standards for yourself, right? Like if you have standards for yourself, it's okay to have standards for yourself. Is everyone in agreement in that?
True. It depends on the situation, though.
Hey, that's what I'm asking. Like, what do you mean by standards?
Like preferences. It's okay for you to have a preference. It's okay to have a standard. It's okay for you to
sometimes that standard has to
hold on. Let me say.
Just
rock with me on this. Just rock with me on this one. It's okay to have standards. It's okay to have preferences. But if you ain't getting it like that,
You're riding a bench. Okay.
Maybe you should just go with the flow just a little bit, just once or twice. I've never been around so many fellas that were so determined. I only drink the finest of wines, and it's like, well, no, sir, you don't. But okay, I guess in front of us you're doing that. I guess I just think it's funny, like the different dynamics in the male psyche.
Well, I think girls pick up on that too. Like I've been in those situations where guys want to like just boost what they're doing, and I go cool. And I'm sure I've probably done that shit too a couple times, but I know what I'm trying to get done.
Yeah, I think it's like a social thing of like they see or they're trying to figure out like who's the king of all kings. And
yeah, the dominant one, the most alpha male there. That's all.
Dominant one.
Yeah, that's
King about kings, huh?
Yeah,
so it's the Highlander.
Yeah, basically.
At the end, there can only be one.
It could only be one.
Yeah,
and that's the position everybody's trying to put themselves in, so they have the pick of the litter. If I guess depending on the person, though,
you gotta insert the Highlander clip here. insert Queen Highlander clip.
Oh man,
but it's true. I can understand that, but at the same time, it's like I don't. That doesn't deter anything either, though, because like girls are gonna pick what they know what they're finna go off for anyway. 90% of the time, it's when fellas start arguing about which one they want that girls are like.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, and listen.
That's
Chris,
funny though.
You're probably always very good of extracting yourself from those scenarios, right? You're always good at just like standing off in the corner and not involving yourself. Oftentimes what happens though is that the group of girls are over here, right? And everyone's doing the whole, I want this one, I want this one, I want that one, which is like first of all, number one, my main point of bringing this up is that no one ever considers that maybe that girl doesn't like you, right? No one ever, never. I'll say for myself, right? Anytime I was involved in that conversation, it was usually after I felt the vibe, and I was like, okay, I think this one is shooting me a vibe, so I'll go for this one because ultimately, that's what matters, right?
Right.
Like, that's what matters, right?
Right.
It matters. The girl has
Depends.
to like you, right?
That's
It
true.
depends.
I don't know what you're about to say.
No, I'm about
No.
to say nothing like that. It's just like depends on like sometimes like a girl might go for another guy, right? Like I've had instances where another guy might bring over like 3 or 4 girls, right? And it's like already three guys with them, and I might be the 4th guy that came over on accident, right? But we're all over there, and so they have to act more dominant and shit, and like she all of a sudden starts to choose like, oh, well, I like this guy too. He's pretty funny, and this is initially she might have liked someone else, but you come in there and you start telling some funny jokes, and
That's
doing
true.
some
They switch up,
yeah, and they start
I mean,
switching
that
up.
happens.
but
That happens. I've been that fella too.
it's funny though, because I mean, like when you said, I forgot what you said, but it made me think of looking at it from a girl's point of view of people switching up. Oh yeah, the switching up part.
The confusion.
Yeah, the confusion. Like what? I wish we had a female on here to just speak to it, but like, are they just thinking like, I just want some fucking dick? Like, why are y'all over here?
She's just like,
I don't know.
okay,
It
I
was
don't
just
give a
funny.
damn which
I
one of
just
you
had
makes
to, yeah.
give it to me. Somebody give me
but-
something.
Oh damn!
But
And he's like,
um,
I want to give it to her.
But no, like back in the day, like I mean, Chris has always been good at it because he'd just be like, okay, I see what's going on. Let me grab and go. And then for me, I don't know. I had a
You never
hard
were a
time
team
like
player. You never were a team player.
no, I was because I never like I didn't have a good time.
I never.
I didn't get to see.
I never saw you.
I wasn't a good person to feel the vibe. So I would just kind of like let it come to me, and that would be that. So I mean, I was kind of taking myself out the game of like, well, whatever gravitates
Tim
towards
did
this
do
way.
that. Tim did do
No.
that a lot though.
Yeah,
Like
Tim
girls
had
would pick
set
Tim like automatically.
Or does Tim have set plays? Every time there was like a group dynamic, Tim already had a set play, and so I was like, "Hey guys, oh you guys are doing that? Well, I'm gonna go over here. You guys have fun."
No,
And
I
then
mean,
the rest of us are out here. Just
okay, I did do that
90%
in
of the
certain
time.
situations.
Tim has a
So
set play.
hold on. So it would be
Just
like
waiting on Tim.
okay, so back to your first point, Mark, of like where it's like curving, like the vibe is just curving, everybody's confused. It's like, okay, I see that. Let me put plan B into action. And then it's like, okay, well,
Tim had a hell of a
whatever
strong plan
happens.
B and C. Tim was really
That's
good.
terrible. That's terrible. Listen, all I'm saying is,
I was terrible.
I just feel like this, in my personal opinion. Like whenever I'm just saying, like we've never when we're in the midst of I guess our toxic period, right? No one ever thought like in the process of like, okay, I want to talk to that one, and in the arguments, like there's one time that it happened. We don't need to tell the story, but like I'm just.
I want to tell it. God damn it! That story pisses me off every time I think about it.
If you can tell it without bringing up people's names,
We don't have to bring up no names. It was a group of females and it was a group of guys, right? The guys that we initially had.
Listen, can I ask you this? Because
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The guys that we initially had, right?
I just don't want.
Everyone's having a great time.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the kicker with women. Here, lesson point to you young guys in college already. Lesson
Oh
point.
my gosh, don't listen to me.
If these women have already chosen what they want to do, leave it the fuck alone. Let them do what they want to do, and just if she's not the pick of the litter, some days you just gotta go. Well, I gotta take one for the team. If she is, you just won that night. Live to fight another day. Then on top of that, if the ugliest one talks to somebody,
hold on. I just feel like you were doing so good, and I just want you to just end it right there. Like I just think that's it.
No. It's more to it. This is what fucked it up. When the ugliest one goes with someone and you got to give them Waffle House, now the rest of these bitches want Waffle House and we ain't giving them Waffle House. You can't drink this vodka and get off.
You're doing so good.
Waffle House.
So good.
Wraps are
that
delicious.
Nigga's like, man, I'm not like the rest of these niggas. I ain't like the rest of these niggas. I'm out here giving out Waffle House and ice cream. Like, this nigga is tripping. Ice cream close. All the stores are closed in the morning. Ain't nobody getting nothing now.
You're doing so good. You're doing so good.
We gotta run up to the gas station and buy ice cream bars and shit.
Too. Till I called him. I was like, yo,
I know it. I know it.
You're good.
That's the part that made me so angry, though. You sat there, and if you give one something, and the rest of those girls feel like they're better than that one, they're all gonna expect it, and now nobody gets anything until everybody gets ice cream bars. Now there's a new trip for everybody.
All right, that's so I would say that I'm not too familiar with what you're talking about. I just simply think that the top part of what you said is just, and I think I say that me and you understood it. I say me, you, and Tim always understood that point. Like, just let them pick. Just let them pick. It's very easy. They want to come hang out. You come. If you get a number, you get a number. If she gives you your number, she gives you your number. If she wants to do anything else, she wants to do anything else. Let her decide what needs is. But if you know that she doesn't want you,
no one else talking to her tonight.
Don't be the fella that just makes it rough for everybody. I mean, just to reiterate, like, because what I've always seen, this is my thing, right? Number one, like, and that's just the first point. It's just like, I understand that you think she's attractive and you think she's cute and you really like her. You really want to do whatever it is that you want to do. But for this to work effectively, she has to want to do it too. And she may not like you. Your jokes may not be as funny as you think your jokes are. So ultimately, we can go, okay, hey, I can go, hey, I'm going to step out your way. I'm going to let you do whatever you do. But if the entire time you're doing what you're doing and old girl is like looking around, essentially what you've done, you've ruined the night for everybody.
Man.
Whatever the intentions were. Because listen, let's just say, I mean, like I said, different people have different motives throughout the course of the night, right? Me personally, I was never a dude that had to go straight to the, I mean, I can catch you later. We can exchange information.
I can get you later.
It wasn't that deep to me.
Just circle back around.
Yeah, like, okay, cool. What I would do is like now there might be some people in your crew where that's what they're here for, right? They already have an understanding with whoever they have that understanding with. So y'all go off over there. We're just gonna continue our conversation while y'all go off over there. We don't even know what y'all doing. It doesn't matter. We're doing.
Oh, you'll know. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now you guys gotta know. Now it's a weird conversation because you're looking at her like, so
do we
like they're having a really good time over there, huh?
I'll have what he's having. Like,
well,
how do you?
I can speak for myself.
You gotta hit it with you go. Oh,
you're right.
Kind of getting tired.
I can speak for myself. I can get you. I mean, it's all good. But like, once again, it's whatever they're into. So at the end of the day, I just think it's interesting. Like when you look at like men, the male psyche, and how especially like I think all of us now are way more mature, right? I mean, first of all, we're all married, so like,
yeah,
obviously all that's dead, right? Or it should be, right? But I think we're obviously more evolved creatures now, so obviously that's not a thing. But back then, saying in our immature state, it was like this idea of like, well, for some guys, it was like, I gotta get mine. And it's like, well, hey, fella, I just like no one ever considers the consequences. Like, all right, if you ruin the vibe for everybody, we're never gonna invite you over here again. Whenever girls are over here, that's number one. Like you're done. Like that's it.
Well, it could just be a one time. You know, no on your first offense is not going to be a thing unless I don't know you.
Right.
So you should have been walking on. You should have been treading on like water anyway.
I think. Listen, back then for me, this is just for me. I can only speak for myself. For me, if you do an infraction, if you do a high infraction, like if you do something that's highly like out of pocket, I'm straight. That's how I've always been. Like I'm straight. Like I might be in the scenario with you, but I'm not planning on doing anything. I'm just here because to me, if you're gonna do that, that just tells me that that's just your energy. So I just assume anytime that situation happens and you're involved, that this just happens. Because I feel like certain things you should know better than to do. Like you should know better than to get mad at to get angry at the girl because she doesn't want to give you her number. Like you should just know better. If that's like a conversation I have to have with you, hey fam, you can't call her. Hey fam, you can't call her. You can't call her.
How dare you not give me your number? Look at me, girl.
Hey fam, you can't call her a bitch just because she doesn't like you. Like you can't. Like if I have to have that conversation with you, I just know that I probably shouldn't even be around you when the girls are around. Like I'm just not gonna do that. You got a lot going on right now, and it's confusing. And I just don't want that energy to be linked with my energy ever. Like as you can see, like how I handle things here. Like I just don't want that to be confused. Like just that's you, and that's it. So I think there's some things where just like okay, you can't if you start throwing salt, if I catch you dirty macking, okay, well I'm never like why would I?
Well, niggas be dirty macking all the time, man.
I say that for the most part. I don't think.
Wait, time out. What is dirty macking, man? I said it very carefully, like I knew what the fuck that was.
Throw dirt on somebody else to get on.
Oh yeah, niggas be doing that all the time, man. I enjoy niggas do that actually because it makes me look way cooler. Because now a girl has to ask me about it.
That's true.
I typically don't. I don't think I've ever dirty macked. I don't think I've ever dirty macked. I've never like actively talked about a dude to make them look worse, so I can do what I need to do.
I don't think
I've never.
I mean, yeah.
Now, what I will say I'll say to you is this.
Nah, I be feeling that's the girl shit. Like I don't try. I'm not gonna talk to about another nigga to no girl.
Right.
Now, what I'll say to you is this. But hold on. What I'll say to you is this.
No, I did.
If you build up enough rapport, they will oftentimes talk to you about them. I've found out a lot about my homeboys through these girls that they used to talk to. As he likes to do that. Oh, okay. In the butt, huh? Okay, all right. I didn't
a little pinky up the sleeve.
Okay.
Like shit.
That's what he likes doing.
Telling all the trade secrets and shit too. Nah, he ain't. Nah, don't do that.
Oh no. Listen, no.
That nigga ain't shit. He ain't never gonna be shit. His mama ain't shit. I let his dog ain't even shit.
You know what? In order to ensure that this narrative does not become established, I will tell the story. Very simplistic. Very simplistic. At one point in time, I talked to a girl. This girl had a sister. She was a freshman. The girl's sister had a freshman. She asked if I could, befriend the girl. I did. We happened to hit it off and be real cool. That girl kind of became like a little sister to me. In the highlight of lifestyle flashy, right? Being lifestyle flashy. I guess he decided to take a shot at the girl. He decided to do that, right? And the girl simply asked me what her thoughts were, what my thoughts of lifestyle flashy. And I told her the truth because I was friends with her. Not only was I friends with her, but Chris, I knew her longer than I knew you.
We boys though. You
I
ain't never made no money with that girl. You ever made no money with that girl, huh?
I literally.
That was funny. We take your ass out there and make money with her. How about you do that?
I think
you never made no money with that girl.
I think me and her has been as friends as long as I think me and you, Tim. I think me and you. I knew that girl before I knew you, Chris. So of course, when she asked me, "Hey, what's going on with your boy?" I'm gonna tell her the truth, And all I said, I didn't even say anything ill. All I said was, if you're trying to have a good time, that is okay. If you're looking for anything other than that, I don't suggest you doing that.
You hit her with that. Don't mess with Sky.
No, I looked out. I looked out for my man. That girl was giving me rides to class. Like that was my girl. No, like that was
don't mess with Sky.
What do I look like? What do I look like giving him the cosign? And he goes and does.
Oh yeah, it says, man, shoot, man, that kid cool. That's it.
I did say that.
Look, Tim. Next day, do. I'm sorry. The number you've just called has been disconnected. I said, God damn. I never knew what happened. And then Mark was like, oh yeah. I told that bitch not to talk to you. Ooh, whoa.
Listen, I looked out for a nice girl. Because I knew that you were a nice fella. I knew you were a nice girl.
I'm
now,
sorry.
hey.
You just called mine has now been disconnected.
Anthony Capital Chris? Well, maybe. But that fella that was running around doing all that foolish stuff? No. I couldn't vouch for you, not for that. Not if I do it.
Mark said, I don't feel comfortable, writing a
I couldn't co-sign on that. I'm sorry.
I don't feel comfortable signing that.
Does he show up to work? Yes.
But is that dirty macking? Is that dirty macking? That's not dirty macking.
That is dirty macking, man.
That is not dirty
macking. That is just
So
what do you call that?
So when both parties, like it's strategy at that point. Like you're not trying to put dirt on anybody's name. You're not trying to put that person in a wrong spot, because then she can mess you up down the line if she knows like somebody you trying to get on. Like it's tough. That's tough.
Listen,
if you talk to that girl, you could be like, oh, he cool. They shot me in my, hey man, if you talk to that girl, you can't do what you normally be doing. All right. You got to kind of treat this with a little TLC. All right now.
But
at least you give me the heads up.
No, because you weren't going to do that.
I was about to say
it doesn't matter. But then all you had to tell him was,
you'd have texted me, yeah, all right, and then he would have just done what he done anyway.
But what you could have told us, like, look, he's a little wild, but he's a good guy. Let me holler at him.
No,
that's it.
No,
that's it.
Chris would have. He would have sent you a picture of her like entering.
Once again.
Gotcha.
Once again, I was actually friends with that and cared about her well-being. So, sorry, Chris.
Oh, she would have been fine. She would have been fine. She would have had to learn a couple life lessons. She would have been fine. I don't deal with that nigga no more. All right, cool. I don't know.
Like I said, listen. I'm not listening. This person might listen to the podcast, so I'm not gonna go any further than that, because there's a follow-up question I had to that, but it's just gonna bait you to say something stupid, so we're just not gonna do that.
What would I have done? We would have been best friends. That's what we would have been, the best of friends. But after you told her that, she just completely stopped talking to me. Like, well, I didn't get no love after that.
I was happy I was able to do that for you, Chris. That's when I'm not. I don't regret doing that one. I don't regret doing that one at all. We're still friends though.
That's okay.
Oh man.
But I mean, listen, I don't consider that dirty making. But I mean, so let me ask you this then, effectively. What do you do? What have you guys have done? What have you guys done when you had the friend who constantly messes up the vibe? Like, what do you guys do?
Plan B.
That?
No, it's very adjustable, but that nigga's not gonna change, obviously. But I just address, like you said, I just tell the girl what she's about to do for her, what he's about to do before it happens, and so it becomes like a fucking game with us. Right. And so she's like, he did do it, and I'm like, yeah, I told you, nigga's crazy. And then nothing that comes back my way, he won't get his like normal, but nothing else happens.
Maybe I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's what I should have done.
Like, this nigga's crazy. Watch this. He's gonna talk himself right in and right back out.
Isn't that dirty macking though?
Not because obviously no. That's not dirty macking because she's not with it. She's not trying to get with him. I'm just saving myself at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna tear me up. So I'm like, I gotta save myself, Playboy. You made me do this.
Okay.
That's a countermeasure.
Well, hey guys, let us know what dirty macking is. I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure I know what dirty macking is, but I don't know. I feel like that could be considered to be dirty macking because at the end of the day, right? Like, yeah, you know he's gonna do it. And yeah, you know 9 times out of 10 he doesn't have a chance in that situation. That's more so a situation dedicated to you. But in a sense, not giving him.
It's self-defense.
But by not giving him the opportunity.
What do you mean? Give him the opportunity to fuck it up? That's what I'm not. What? You're gonna fuck up this is a consistent thing that you're doing, and we've talked to you about it. You deserve it at this point.
But we never talked to anybody about it though. That's one thing I said.
Oh, see, we were very vocal about ours. Like we would go, this nigga right here will ruin everything if he's not getting some. And he knew it. And I think sometimes he would realize, okay, well, I'm not getting none. So time to go ahead and start shooting at everyone else and tearing everyone else's feelings down to the ground. Mm-hmm. That's what he would do.
Who are these people you're hanging out with?
Real ass niggas. That's what he would do. He would do that.
Well, listen. For me, it's just that we're just not going to do that again. Okay, we're just not going to do that again. And that's it.
Oh.
Like you ruin the vibe, then okay, we know that you're not a vibe fella. No vibes for you.
What if that's the guy that always has the girls though? Like, what if that's that guy? You can't not hang out with them then. What if it's the main point of contact, the one that always has the girls?
That's ruining the vibe.
That's always ruining the vibe. Or what if he's not? What if he's not the main point of contact, but he is not the worst player in the game either? Like he's the one that can spark the entire thing, but he also can put that motherfucker out.
Nah, that's okay. For me, no.
Like the influencer.
I can't.
Yeah, like he's the one that can make everyone laugh and enjoy themselves, but once it becomes a certain time, he's like, okay, I'm not getting any.
I'd rather not get involved. Because, listen, this is why I say this.
Cut it.
Your number is going to be decreased anyways because there's that.
But it's not decreased because you get the group. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's either splash damage or no damage.
Yeah, it's like even though he causes damage, he still sometimes can pick up those pieces. Like, oh yeah, at least I got the number. I didn't get to do what I wanted to do tonight, but at least I got the number. So without him being in the games, like I wouldn't get the number.
I can't. I can't. Because if you do it too many times, then I'm gonna have to address you. And then if you say the wrong things, then we may have to address you in another way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
it should never get to that kind of like an addressing. Is like, I'm not gonna fight you about the shit. It's like, nigga, why do you do that?
No, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna holler at your homeboy, then your homeboy gonna say something stupid to you.
Why would you holler at him?
Why would you holler at him? Because he's spazzing out on people that we bring over here.
Yeah.
Now, if it's people that I'm bringing over there all the time, you're spazzing out on like my friends that I'm bringing over. Yeah, that's a problem. But like, if no one knows these people and you're doing it, like, no harm, no foul. Like, I don't have to hear about it later.
But it still messes up the vibe.
I personally don't want to be connected to that energy.
Well, I mean, the person he's not hollering.
Listen.
He's just joking. We went extremely like hilarious. So it hurt feelings. So he's not hollering or nothing, but like this nigga one time, man, it was crazy. Like this girl had mismatched socks on, and he was like, "You too old to be wearing mismatched socks." And she was like, she like got upset and was like going crazy. He's like, "Nigga, I bet you don't got." He had, this is why I buy brand new socks now. Since this day, I buy. But this nigga, she was like, "You don't got no fresh socks on." He's like, "Oh no, I do." And his socks are like super fresh. And I was like, "Oh my god,
man."
He's like, "You too old to be wearing mismatched socks." He's like, "You don't do laundry, do you?" And it went this whole tirade of like what she doesn't do as a woman. And I was like,
nope.
Everyone else is laughing their ass off. She's hurt.
She ready to go.
And she's ready to go now.
Nah.
And it just stems from like a stupid joke, and he just continues to go on it.
I can't. Like you
so
gotta.
It's not like negative. It's just funny as shit.
I just want to be attached to that energy, bro. Because I mean, listen, like we went to school, and there was a whole bunch of crews, and all those crews had their perception. I'm pretty sure our crew had a perception. Like the people knew there's a perception of our crew, and there was all these crews, and there was perceptions of them. And you know, some crews have good perceptions, and some crews don't have the best of perceptions. You know who those fellows are. And not all the time the narratives were true. I personally just didn't want to get that attached to me. You know what I mean? Like If you out here just like being aggressive and forceful, I don't need to be around you. I don't need to be around you.
Well, Mark, yeah, that's a whole different. Like, that's a rape.
No, I'm just saying.
100%.
Like, yeah, you should probably get the fuck out of there.
100.
That's the conversation you have to have that might be aggressive. Like, nigga, why are you raping bitches?
That's the conversation right then. Like, hold on.
I don't know, because it's like I don't want to be involved in this nigga's business because he might break my ass after this. I'm gonna get out of here.
I mean, it's not funny.
No,
I just know.
girl.
I mean, but listen.
It is funny.
But guys, people, what I'm saying. Like, we lucky enough. We didn't really have any of that.
What kind of characters are you hanging out with?
Lucky enough, we didn't have any of that in our dynamic.
I'll believe it. Yeah, you might lead to. No.
Like at most, you have someone who might toss a little temper tantrum, whatever the case may be. Most of the time, what we saw in our dynamic was just funny things, and that's it. But I'm just saying, like, you have to be careful, man, because some dudes' vibes, man. Like, I'm very careful, like, especially back then I was very careful. So if I felt like your energy was like weird and you might do, like, I don't need you around me because I don't need to be attached to you like that. Like, we can hang out, but if it's like any one of those situations, I don't want a female's mind to correlate me to anything that
negative.
No, well, anything of anything that I don't agree with. So if I don't agree with what you're doing, I'm straight. Like, if you over here dirty macking, because this is the thing about dirty macking, right? Girls, no. Like, we're not as slick as we think we are. Most of our like plays that we're doing, I think the average female already knows the play. They just decide if they want to deal with the play or not deal with the play. But I think they know what the play is. They understand. They see us over there in the corner. They know what's going on or whatever the case may be. They know what's going to happen. So I think the average female understands it. Like, we're not super slick. Like, we're not doing anything covert. Like, they get it. So I think that if they see the play and they see you acting a certain way, it's like, it's obvious. Like, if you're dirty macking, it's obvious. And me personally, it's like, when you're in the dirty mac crew, I've had situations. I'm not gonna speak. I ain't gonna say names. We all know who they are. But I've been in the scenarios with some of our mutual friends that dirty max, and I've seen how the girl. I've seen what?
Who nigga?
And I've seen how girls.
Mr. A B C D E F G.
And I've seen girls look at each other and kind of go, because it's lame. It looks lame. You make listen.
Looks like desperate, yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's like this. If we're a group, it makes no sense for me to make fun of you in front of a girl, because at the end of the day, we both look like. Because if I make fun of you, you're gonna make fun of me, and now all they're hearing about is our flaws all night. The whole night, all they're hearing about. Oh, this.
I think I never hung out with too many guys. Like, I can't. I'd never hung out with a group of guys. There's always one or two guys, and that was it. Because that shit sounds ridiculous.
Honestly, I've gotten numbers off of that scenario with those individuals.
Oh, your friend over there said you ain't shit. Like, what?
No, because what will happen is I just be in the corner. It's like, oh, you're not saying anything.
Chilling.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not. Those are my guys. I'm not really. And they go, oh, okay. I'm saying, like, to me, I learned a long time ago, like, you kind of have to understand the energy, because like some people's energy, you know what I mean, like, and you never know.
So I guess I forgive some of that shit too, because niggas be trying to just get some butt, and so it's like, I know, like, if I got a girl, right, but somehow she, I don't know, me and my homeboy, like, I used to talk to this girl, but me and my homeboy are so close, like, she would just go over to his house and wait and hang out, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he wanted to get on, so like, I'm sure he was like talking shit, because why would she? There'd be no reason for her to switch teams, you know what I'm saying? Or she would be kind of nervous to try to switch teams, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, a nigga's gonna be a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't fault you for doing that shit, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess.
It's not gonna affect what I got going on. Like, that's how I look at it. Like,
but wouldn't you be salty?
Nah,
You be
hell
salty?
no. Like, what the fuck you gonna say? That nigga don't. That nigga be leasing his cars. So
So if I, so you would be
Nah, I
salty if you
would.
found out. I'm gonna say like you would be salty if you found out we were dropping salt on you, Chris.
I would.
nah, because obviously you wanted her, and obviously it didn't affect me because I didn't see her anyway. So it's all you. If I wanted her,
Man.
I'm gonna get it. If she liked me anyway.
Man.
If the girl likes you, she likes you. A nigga talk shit on you all day. Like, man, should have heard that nigga. Hey, she's gonna ask you, do you have AIDS? She's gonna just give you the opportunity to defend yourself. You like, where the hell did you hear that from? But
Right.
but I can't fault. Obviously, she didn't like me enough to figure that out. So I was like, all right, cool, do your thing. I don't know. I guess I never really thought of it as like it's hindering me. Like, it's either she's now gonna have to talk to me, or I'm gonna know my friends are talking shit to me eventually because I'm gonna talk to
gonna
her and
come
she's gonna
around.
say some wild shit. Yeah.
Right.
But that's like a big gang type shit. Like you got to have a big circle or like a lot of friends, and at some point that you're that nigga in the group. That's the only person they really talk about. Is the guy that's always that guy, because there'd be no reason to talk about him if he's not.
No, sometimes
That's
people pick like easy, what they perceive to be easy.
Now, if you start joking on a nigga around a bunch of girls to make yourself funny, that's different.
How is that different?
I mean, it's still
Right.
fucked up, but you're not dirty macking it. But it's like
How
you're
is
gonna
that
pick.
not dirty?
I don't feel like it's dirty. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just making jokes, and you just seem to be the nigga that's in the room to get the joke done. So if you don't come back quick enough, like shit, nigga, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you ass. Get out of here, man.
That to me sounds like dirty macking, Chris.
No,
Really?
I mean,
if
dirty
we're
macking is
out in a
cool.
group and all of us are like hanging, but you just the nigga that's still on, either A, show me you're not that nigga that's still on, or B,
But the guy that
get
gets
the
the
fuck
jokes,
outta
but the guy that gets the jokes in the group, 9 times out of 10, he's not gonna get a number that night.
who?
The guy
The
that's
guy that
getting
gets
joked.
joked on?
The guy getting joked
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, if you smack the nigga joking, I guarantee you, if you smack that nigga joking, ain't no, he ain't getting no number either.
But you just said.
Nah, that might turn it. Like they
You know
might
what I'm
be
saying?
like,
Like,
nah, he's that
you're
one.
only giving the other person an opportunity at this point. All right, cool. I'm gonna ask you once. All right, enough of the jokes. And if she's laughing and giggling, and he in too. All right, that's okay. I'm gonna smack the shit out and be like, is it still funny?
Exactly.
Is that shit still funny? Oh, it's not. Oh, we're serious now.
Yeah.
Enough with the jokes, man. And I guarantee no one else will joke on you rest of the night, rest of your life.
the rest of your life.
You're done. You'll never have another joke told of you in front of girls ever
But did
again.
you just say that it shouldn't get to that point?
What?
It should,
No, if I'm someone's scapegoat and someone's trying to capitalize off of me because I had like a fucking big ass pimple on my face and now it's time to talk about it in front of all these bitches, like, you should have picked and
in
chose
front of
your
all
times
these women,
differently.
in front of all these women,
Yeah, in
in
front
front
of
of
all these women.
queens. In front of all these queens.
That's
was
different.
Speaking in past tense of college, Chris. So,
College Chris is
Proceed.
coming out. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Like,
But anyways, yeah, that's different though. Like, cause you need to like, if you allow someone to pick on you, then you're just gonna get picked on. So that's your fault. But if you don't know someone's talking about you, that's different. And I think that might be dirty macking. But if someone's gonna pick on you in front of your face and you allow that shit, well, shit.
but
nigga,
why are
that's
we
your
talking
fault.
about each other? Like, why are we talking about each other?
Well, because niggas do that. Like, without girls there, niggas would do that anyway. Now you're amplified because girls are there and you're trying to be the funny nigga in the group now. So you just amplified yourself 100 times. So when that joke would have stopped at one joke, now it's 10 because he's like, oh, she's
Why is that
laughing
a
and she
thing?
really likes it.
Why is that a thing?
It's just ego.
yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. I just think
Alpha macho. I'm the machoest nigga here because I can joke with
I just think
niggas
male
now.
ego. I just think male ego is funny. That's what I'm saying. I just think male ego is funny, and I think a lot of the problems that you have in group male settings, especially when dealing with women, all have to do with the ego in and of itself. Like a lot of the issues that we had in a group setting were always based upon somebody's ego. There's somebody's ego that's activated in the room, and because of that, there's things that are happening. And like I said, like ultimately, and I only speak from a perspective of just the girls that I've been friends with that have been in those same scenarios with us that, just so happen to end up being friends with them afterwards. They have all communicated it, that we look lame doing it. Like there was not.
We look lame. We know. Look, we look at each other like, what are we doing? We all do. We
Right.
look at each other like
in
what
the process
fuck?
of it.
Like two niggas in the room look at each other like,
Like,
help him, help them, nigga. Because you don't want to be like, niggas, y'all look stupid.
Sometimes you want to text it like, hey man, y'all look stupid. Can we stop?
But you're afraid of you texting like, who looks stupid? Like, oh god. Oh shit. This nigga tripping. So now you gotta explain yourself in front of the whole group like you got team meeting, guys.
Oh man.
Bring it in. Huddle up.
Go to the back. go to the back.
God, you know we have to do this.
Put him in the box. Put him in the box for 10 minutes. You're sitting in the box for 10 minutes.
Man.
Oh, yeah, man. Like that's the scary part. It was like, oh shit. But I guess that's why I never cared to hang out with a lot of guys because I knew that shit. Just listening to other niggas talk about other niggas, I was like, that's crazy to me. And they're supposed to be like brothers on top of brothers. It's like, damn, nigga, why y'all talking about each other like this?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fuck. I'm trying to have sex with the girl he's talking to. Like, damn.
Crabs in the bucket.
Oh, wow.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why men can't just be honest with each other.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, be honest with each other. Like, I just think the whole dynamics of just like, and I guess maybe there's a certain level of maturity that you have to get to before you start being honest. Like, you start being honest.
What do you mean by being honest? Like, okay, Chris,
okay,
you got more muscle than me.
For instance, we all knew that guy whenever we'd be in the group setting that says, I do nothing but bang the baddest of women. Because, I don't speak like Chris does.
Them bitties. Nah.
Yeah.
That's all I
do is bang the baddest. And then, and you know them. And you've seen them in groups with like not the baddest and not know what to do. So you're like, so what is it exactly? Do you just transform into another person when the baddest comes around? I just need to understand like what is it that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I just understand like why do dudes do honest?
I never trusted that shit anyway. When a nigga tells me he only fucks bad bitches, like you ain't getting no practicing, cuz.
Right. 100. 100.
Like that don't even make sense. When do you have time to practice? Because I hope it's not on them because you won't get no more bad bitches.
So you just out here just that's
you lying.
Or just keep it real. Just say, hey, because oftentimes what happens is this, like either you're lying or you're like,
you're fucking once a year.
Right? You butter something. Dude, that's
that's a real thing.
No, what I'm saying is that like a lot of
niggas
like,
out here
there's a lot of
butt. Like that's a text message. Like I seen a girl show me like a nigga was like, yo, can I come over? I'll eat your ass. Like, what? What? Is that acceptable in the streets? Like this niggas is like, hey, let me come over tonight. I'll eat your ass. Like, what a fucking deal.
What? So
bring it on over here.
There's a buyer's market out here.
They just sending shit emojis like it's that time.
Wipe your ass, girl. Coming over.
Like what? For real? Okay.
There's some wild shit going on out here, man.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, listen. There's nothing wrong with whatever you're into, right? Now honestly, you guys should do it in the sanctity of marriage.
At least surprise her, like at least surprise the ass lick. Like, don't just go in there looking for ass licking.
But what I would say is, there's nothing. Listen, whatever you're into, what you're into, as long as you're two consenting adults, that's fine. I'm just saying, when you're with your boys, you can't just be like, man, I just pulling it out, and flipping it over, and doing all this and that, and it's just all aerobatics, and it's all like fireworks and streamers, and then you find out that you're just doing like, you've never actually had sex for real. It's just that your mouth just goes in strange places, and that's just the dynamic of your relationship. And then like, you're sitting there going, what?
Well, if a nigga ever told me that shit, I'm confused. Like, that's wild, man. Like, why are you just telling me this? Did I ask for this information?
That's all. I never got that. Can we? PSA. Maybe this would be a clip. Guys, fellas, stop telling your homeboys your exaggerated stories
Well,
about.
no. Sometimes
Hold on.
you're gonna ask them
Hold on.
lies sometimes, and I want
Hold
them. But
Hold
don't
on.
just willingly give them lies up.
Right.
Fellas,
Let me ask for them.
stop
Right.
offering these elaborated, exaggerated fairy tales about things that you've done with girls, because it always comes out. And at the end, you always make yourself look trash. You always make yourself look trash. This is what happens.
How? How does he make himself look trash?
Because
you gonna confront him? Hey, nigga, I heard you weren't doing none of that shit.
nah, bro, you don't. But what happens is this is what happens.
I heard they call you Nubby.
Hey, Minnie Mouse, come here.
This is what happens. The guy will always say whatever he says, right? And it will either be a friend of a friend, or like maybe that guy might be talking to the girl, or whatever the case may be. And it comes up in conversation, and it happens. And oftentimes it will happen like you don't even mean to say anything. It's just like, oh, I heard, you used to talk to my man? Like something as simple as that. Like, didn't you used to talk to my man? Like, nah, I ain't never used to talk to him. Why he said that? Man, that nigga used to do this, that, and that. It was like,
well, that's Dirty Mac and Mark. You say, well, he said.
No, that's not what I'm talking
backwards,
about.
Girl.
No, I'm saying like, but simply like, didn't you used to talk to my homeboy? That's it. Because sometimes it just be like one-time encounters, or it's just like whatever the case may be. Like, all I'm saying is just don't exaggerate the story, because at the end of the day, like, or at least tell me.
Oh, don't lie about some pussy you ain't never hit. Don't lie about that.
Yeah,
that's a fair statement. But
I mean,
I sometimes want the exaggerated story, like the boring. I don't give a damn. But you tell me some wild shit. Oh damn, boy, you a wild motherfucker, man. I know you lying, but I'm asking for the lies too, though.
Right. Nah,
like you tell me some boring shit, like oh, you came in, I kissed her on the cheek, and we went to town from there. I took her pants right off, and I slid right on in that bad boy.
What's wrong with that, though? What's wrong?
I don't want to hear that shit.
What's wrong? But why? No one lives a porno lifestyle.
But I want to hear the porno. If you're gonna tell it to me in the porno style. That bitch came in and sucked the shit off my dick. She can't suck worth a damn. But you tell the lies about that shit.
Man. We was on the ceiling at one point. Had it on the fan. Back.
Shit,
nah.
I just think dudes will tell you the wildest stories, and you're just like, bro, you don't even look like you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I had a dude tell me a story one time, and then I asked him a question about it, and he basically
forgot.
He had nothing about what he was talking about.
Yes, like right in the belly button, right?
And I remember I go tell who told the story, but Ken was there, and when I asked the question and he couldn't answer, Ken just looked at me like, okay.
He probably did just that too.
And Ken just like walked out. He just walked out. He looked at me, he was like,
oh shit.
Damn.
Those are the best though, man. I remember those days where you used to have to exaggerate the stories a little bit, man. That's all right. But don't sit there and lie
story,
like, oh, I fucked some girls, you didn't do.
Moral of the story, Kings, be yourself.
Man.
We'll like you better.
Man.
Just be yourself, man. We like you for who you are. If I'm hanging out with you, 9 times out of 10, I hung out with you well before any girls came in the mix. So you don't have to tell me 1,000 stories about how you went to Venus and, had, banged whatever and did whatever you did. Like, you just be yourself, man. 9 times out of 10, I probably just like playing 2K with you. We don't even have to talk about that. So that's not your thing. We can just talk about sports and anime.
Isn't that like the only things with sports, girls, and the fuck else are they supposed to talk about? Unless you're doing business, what else are y'all talking about?
Men are more complex than that, bro. And I'm tired of that narrative. We're more complex.
I'm talking about we sitting over there playing the game.
That's true.
If it's not about business, 90% of the time, it's about a girl or some bullshit. Just bullshit. That's the best part about hanging out with niggas is the bullshit part.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Okay, so the bullshit. The bullshit that we talk about is not like, I don't know. Like, I just don't like. We don't do that.
We also have businesses, so our conversations sometimes lean that way. But our other conversations, when the business is done, is about other things. We talk about other things.
It is, but I mean that bullshit is like, I don't know, like politics, like conspiracies, like
We talk about.
I don't
We've
know.
talked about.
It's like everything. Like it's
Chris, me, you and Tim had a 30-minute conversation about what anime, what's the next anime you should watch.
anime, man.
Well, yes, that's bullshit.
Okay, and I'm saying that
But
bullshit is, but that bullshit is real friend shit. That's what I'm talking
it's
about.
yeah.
Like, I was never really cool with the dudes that came in and only wanted to talk about how many girls they had sex with.
Oh no, that's different. I don't even think they're friends. Niggas that do shit like that. That's wild to me. Like I fucked
And
up 100 girls. Like what?
I've
Why?
always hated that. I've always hated that, and not hated him, but I've always been like, dude, we don't have to do that. Like, there's dudes that you cool with, and you like genuinely like them, but it's like they just won't like be cool. Like, fam, be cool. Like, we don't need to hear about how many I had a coworker I used to chop it up with, and he would just be like, yo, I was hanging out with a girl, and then blah 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 blah, and at the end of it, and she sucked my dick.
You sound like awesome.
Got that sloppy.
And I just looked at him like, all right, bro, like, I'm glad. I mean,
I think that's the thing. I think last time we talked about it, I believe it's like we aren't as you grow up and have other things going on with yourself. That's not a currency anymore. When you're broke and you don't have anything else going for you, the amount of bitches that you or the amount of girls that you fuck is a currency. Is like a type of currency for you to put yourself in a status. Like I can have sex with lots of women, so I am more confident in myself.
Yeah.
But if you are already there, like our conversations aren't stemmed around that, one because we're married, two because we actually do shit. So it's harder. It doesn't make a difference.
Well, I mean, look, I agree with you, and yeah, I guess as men evolve, I guess that is a currency in and of itself. And I mean, listen, when I met you guys, I was older, right? Like I was in school for a little bit, so I was older anyway. So I mean, maybe a lot of the things I saw, a lot of was going on. I probably was just kind of like, I wouldn't say above that, but I just think it was already past that. Because I mean, I have my immature moments. I have my immature times. I remember there was a time when I was in college and I swore I was a member of Dipset, and all my friends were like acting like we were members of Dipset, and that's just how we acted. And
Jesus
people
Christ.
were. Yeah,
Fuck,
bro.
Mark.
That was a weird time in my life. Because like
Dipset,
at that
Dipset.
time, that's a hard thing to pull off. First of all, I'm not saying that
You have like the bandana.
Right.
Which one of y'all was Jewel's?
I remember there was like a lot of accessories. I had like a lot
Bedazzled jeans and
I had a lot of hats. A lot of
Ed Hardy hats.
No. I had like different like fitteds or whatever the case. Where fit is affected. And snapbacks, and then I got the snapbacks, and the snapbacks became the thing. But like, I remember like,
are they still?
I remember snapbacks.
Yeah.
I think the dad hats kind of took the snapbacks now. I mean, I think I don't think there's a thing anymore. There's no such thing as a thing anymore. I think right now it's kind of free expression, which is actually free.
Yeah.
So you can as long as it looks dope, you can get away with it. It's like, back in the day, it was just like Nike, like had to be Nike. But now you can rock if you have some fly Pumas, if you have fly Reeboks, you can rock them, and no one's gonna really say
anything.
I think it's more like of a aesthetic, like color blocking or whatever.
Yeah, and then I think also as well, you because everyone's trying to be unique, you can throw something different out there. Like I think when we went on Valentine's Day, I wore these Air Maxes, and they didn't match anything. They didn't match anything.
I don't think that matters.
But that was the aesthetic. The aesthetic was I had like more so neutral black colors on, and then I had these super colorful shoes. And aesthetic was. But oh shit, you made me lose my point. What was I saying? I was saying some real shit.
Talking about currency and you're dressed like Dipset, immature.
Yeah, I remember that was like a thing, and we all like did that. I remember being around the room saying a whole bunch of ridiculous things that made no sense. Like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? We gotta keep it real, and you know what I'm saying? We gotta, about these girls, and about these blah 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 blah, and using all these acronyms and saying X, Y, and Z. And that was at the time. Right, where like none of us got called by like our actual names. We called ourselves like we all had nicknames apparently. We were weird. I remember that time period.
That is very weird.
Oh yeah, bro. I think my sophomore year, I was introduced to a fella, and
So
my
did you
home was.
pull any girls with that? Like that's the better question.
I had a girlfriend. I had a relationship. I was in a relationship.
Well, did she like the Dipset thing?
Who? No, it's
Your girl.
first of all, I never did that around her.
Okay, so this was.
I never did that around her. Like,
okay,
so,
so what is the point of this?
A big turn.
Well, no. I'll say this. This is what I'll say.
Mark's like, I got home. He's like, unzip my jacket.
No. Hold on. I'll say this. I call it. I talk about it because it is late, right? But it was effective. It was effective. I just was in a relationship, so I couldn't really.
So did your homeboys? They were banging a lot of chicks because they were pretending to be like Dipset.
Yes, I mean.
Oh wow.
I don't want to say it like I don't like the way you just said that, but yes, I mean that's kind of what happened. A lot of girls came over. They didn't really have a problem getting girls over.
Girl didn't like Dipset.
Right.
It wasn't a thing, and their apartment wasn't like the nicest of apartments. Really, it was just a Nova Hills apartment. Girls would come over there, and I mean, I got to know a lot of people because acted that way. But I just remember being like an idiot and like saying things like, "Oh,
we all did that.
Like, the baddest of girls," and it's like, really? Is that only what you do? Or like keeping it real, arguing about what's real. You remember you remember like I mean you remember like that we had some of that in our group where like the real nigga caucus. You don't remember the real nigga caucus?
No, I do.
Where everybody's like, well, a real nigga would have done this.
Right.
Like, sentences will always begun or ended with a real nigga.
Nah, but you ain't a real nigga because a real nigga. Yeah, nah.
Jesus.
It'd be a room full of people talking about who's the realest, and it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, we all had our stupid times. Like, I didn't dress up like Dipset, but I did some wild shit.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, but I say that to say this. Like, oftentimes when I look at you guys a certain way, it's because like I'd already done that, and I already know that the results of that stupid stuff. Like, I already got it. Like, I mean, you'll get some attention, but I mean, ultimately, like, I stood for myself when I was out here trying to talk to women. I would say this version of myself was always a more appealing version to women than Dipset version, or make fun of my friends being loud version, or I want to pretend to be a thug version. Like, this version right here was always more attractive, it seems, and I was able. So,
I don't know.
And I always keep that. So it's like I would see like sometimes I see some like not say y'all, but I see people running around doing things. I'm like, oh, okay, they don't know that doesn't work yet. Okay, all right. They'll figure it out.
It just depends on what group you're looking at. So I think I've always been able to see vibes, and I would adjust to the vibe. So if they would like the loud, dominant person, I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll be that person. Or if they didn't like that, I'll be the quiet, cool guy. Either or, I can do both.
That's true.
Depending on how drunk I was.
But anything but be yourself, huh, King? You don't want to be yourself?
Yeah, no, it was myself, but it was like, oh, they want me to be funny? I'll be super funny.
Yeah, it all depends on your audience too.
Yes,
like whatever they're receiving.
What's the wildest pickup line you've ever used that worked?
Oh shit, I don't know.
I don't know.
It didn't have to be a pickup line, but some of the wildest thing that like something you said to a girl that she was like, and it was like she thought it was amazing. Shit, I told a girl I spoke 3 different languages. Because I know my numbers in German, in Japanese, and I know Spanish. So I was talking to her, and I was like, yeah, girl, I travel all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I speak different language. She's like, say something. I was like, sino que puedes para nito y sano. And she's like, oh, what is that? I was like, ichini san shigo. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, ung's dry
You know what's
section.
funny?
She's
You know what's
like,
funny? Because I was still kind of fluent when I met you. So it's funny because like Ken used to make fun of me all the time. Like, you don't use any of your gimmicks. And he's like, what? It's like, bro, you speak a whole nother language, and like your family's from like a different. And, like, you don't use any of your gimmicks.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know. That's just a thing. Like, my grandmother couldn't speak English, so I love my grandma. So the way I could talk to her is to speak to her in her native tongue. Like, that was it. I'll say I don't remember specific lines not because I was above it, right? It's not because I was above it. I don't think I used it. I think there was a fear that it wouldn't work, right?
I
Like,
just tried it.
Chris,
I thought it was
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Chris, me and your minds are different. That's why, like, whenever we work together, it's kind of work because we just, I would just, I'd be more cautious when it's necessary to be cautious. Take the shot. You shoot the shot, right? Our minds work different. Like, my mind is this, right? If I say this, right, what's gonna happen if it doesn't land? And it goes back to like the conversation we had back in the day when we were like, that anxiety, right? Like, you go up and you say something to a female, and there's that anxiety and that, like, okay, what's gonna be said? And in our minds, right? Like I said, back then, like, it's not that bad, right? You're not gonna die. You're not gonna disappear. You don't have to go off in the cave and never show your face again. It feels that way. It feels that way.
It's the very first one is your determination if you're gonna have a really good night or a really piss poor night. The first one.
And your rep is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And that honestly, that really determines, because if you go out in the club, right, and obviously this is the prefix if you're dancing with girls, if you're trying to talk to a girl. If you go out to the club, right, and the very first girl you push up on like pushes off you,
like, it's like every girl in the club saw that one push, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't talk to him."
I look better than her. Like, no, if I accept him,
new club, guys, new club.
And sometimes you just gotta do that. We never did it. We
gotta get out of here.
We were so cheap. Like, I ain't paying $20.
This $20 been coming a number. Shit.
There's so many times when we should just went to the next spot, but we didn't because it was just like, well, I don't want to pay that.
Like, get out.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, that will just. So, like I said, I don't think I was always too scared to use a line because I was always fearful of like getting caught. I will say I probably over embellished some things in regards to what we were doing at school, as far as like the promoting and the t-shirt stuff. I might have over embellished some of that. I told them the truth. Like, look, I did a lot of these designs. But like, to make it seem like it was like this whole like extra strenuous process, probably wasn't. Right?
I mean, I never told no one like I was doing like whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm out here on campus throwing parties and selling shirts. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here making this money, son. Now, I mean, honestly, how much money I made, I couldn't tell you.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like,
but I'm out here making this money, baby. You know what I'm saying? About my money.
Like, saying things like that. Like, because ultimately speaking, I mean, I think what we were doing looked cooler than it was on the inside. On the inside, it was kind of like we were just kind of figuring things out. Like, we were literally just three guys that got together and said, "Okay, those guys are doing it. How can we do it?"
Yeah, basically.
And
blueprint, and they're like, "Cause we got an army behind us."
That's business, ain't it?
We just pieced it together. Like, wait a minute, how is this done? And I remember like people got thrown off because it's like, wait a minute, they're not supposed to be able to. Wait, what? What are they doing? So no. But yeah, I don't think I ever like. I'm really thinking because I said some dumb stuff, but I just don't know like
I do too. Ooh, actually, I remember one,
I've just
but
heard some really bad lines.
No,
mm,
I
Tim,
never
you're
want
not
to
gonna
do
bring it up to the group. It was
nah, because it's a specific story that's attached to it, and y'all are gonna see it, and nah.
we
Nah.
can't learn the, we can't learn the story, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
y'all already know the story.
everybody's
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah.
Everybody's sharing.
is come
Yeah.
on, man. Come on, man. Come on, dog.
Everybody's sharing.
We all boys.
We are.
Have y'all ever talked yourself out of a situation?
What
Like
do you mean? Like you're
eating
in
pussy?
there and then you're like,
Yeah, you basically talked yourself out of it.
No.
Shit, but you know how hard that would be.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's very easy. It's
I guess
very
it is easy, but I mean, like when you're thinking of like you're in it, like I'm already
Like you're
past the
talking about like
hardest point of
yeah.
entry. So
You're talking in the room, almost on the way. You talking about like because like you talking about like on the way to
I'm
like
talking about in all aspects. I'm talking about all aspects. Like in the room.
That's how it
Like
happens for
yeah,
Chris.
Shorty
It's
likes
like
you. Shorty
made
likes
you
you. She's
laugh.
probably gonna give you the number. But you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
have you
I
got-
have because I've had like other situations pop up in like her trying to like throw some poom poom at me, and another girl will be like, "Hey, Chris," and I'll entertain that because I'm like, instead of having a onesome, I'll have a threesome tonight, and then like
Oh Lord.
someone's not with it, like I'll fuck myself up doing some shit like that, but not like saying some wild shit like no. I'm trying to overdo it and I'll fuck myself up. Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. Well, I have. I mean, you know, those are always interesting times. It's always funny when you know that's always the worst though, because you like the second you mess up, like you knew you were in there. Like your brain automatically connects the dots. Like, oh no, you weren't. You didn't need to do that.
Time out, Mark. You just said that. What the fuck did you say?
Nah, I mean, just I
Oh
don't know.
man.
Maybe ask questions. And sometimes, okay,
How old are you?
okay. Um,
So what's your shirt made out of?
Oh, man.
sometimes you're in the midst of things. For myself, I like getting to know people. I find other people fascinating, so I like getting to know people and knowing things about people.
This is already starting bad, Mark.
I'm analytic in that. I'm an analytic in that fashion. So, pretty much everybody I've ever dealt with, I've always made a point subconsciously to get to know them a little bit more. Sometimes you get to know them, and the things you find out about them puts you back in a keep your pants on scenario.
Oh, well, you talked yourself out of the
Okay.
girl. Like you're like, I don't want to be here because she might be
You're-
nasty.
No, or they tell you something that just the vibe is no longer a vibe of pulling your privates out.
I got
What?
you.
What could she
But
say?
no.
I have AIDS. I have chlamydia. Like, what is she? What is she saying? Because as long as I'm not gonna catch a disease from you, I'm not gonna be like nah.
I love Satan. Like,
I'm gonna go with it. Like,
breaker.
let me tell you something, baby. I don't give a damn what you do in your personal life. What are we here for?
Man.
Well, for me, there's been times where I've just talked myself out of a vibe, and it's like, oh well, okay. So, well,
You don't love Jesus like I love Jesus? Ew.
I mean, that would throw me off. I'll be honest. I probably would get soft if I'm like, oh, I just want you to know I love Satan. Word. All right.
You better do some devilish shit tonight, girl. Let me know.
Well, I think that's great. I typically don't judge people for their choices. I think we're moving a little too fast.
Now I've been to a girl's house and that was like disgusting, and I was like, yeah, no, I've done that. Or I'm like, this is ridiculous. If your house looks this bad, I know that poom poom has got to be terrible, and I got to get out of here. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I wonder, like, are you like trying to like get canceled or like is that like
That's a real thing.
like sometimes I
That's a
just
real
wonder,
thing.
like
I didn't
there
say
like a
anything
goal?
terrible, did it? Was that terrible?
That wasn't terrible. I
I
mean,
didn't think so either.
How was
it
it
wouldn't. It
necessary?
wouldn't happen. It would.
If you go
If
over
I
to
know
a
your
girl's
That's
house
house,
is
honest.
dirty,
if
so I
you go to a
know
girl's
the
house, right, in their house,
is disgusting.
if you don't give a damn about your house, I know you don't give a damn about
That's
yourself.
that's human judgment.
Let's just say.
Like,
All right, say that at the next conference, guys. See how that goes.
Oh,
Well,
Say that
typically
no
speaking,
what?
if I ever see a dirty house, I know their poom is disgusting.
hey.
But what?
I'm just saying, I'm gonna guess. I don't
So
think it's
we
as
get
bad.
HR, get Chris up out of here.
And I'm not talking about like a little, like I didn't do the laundry, but you got roaches and shit running around your house. Like I just won't feel comfortable. So I want to get out of here.
So all right, so this, and we're running long, but this is actually a good conversation. So if you were to walk in your first time over a young lady's house,
Mhm.
and the house is like disgusting,
Mhm.
you're done,
That literally happened.
Tim.
First time I met a girl.
Tim.
Mm-mm.
How disgusting as Chris describes it, like
She
little
had
friends are
towels. It was
walking
like
in, like, hey,
you
how
couldn't
you
tell
doing?
the bed from the kitchen. Like it was like a studio apartment. You couldn't tell where she slept, and
So
then
it's
the
just
kitchen area.
She had
a
a
big
little.
old mess. Just a
It's just
She had,
everything was everywhere.
She had a studio apartment. I'm sorry.
Okay, most
but
females are a little cleaner than guys, right? But
Mm,
even guys, if
not
you know
really.
someone's coming over, okay,
no,
well,
you know.
hear me out here. Hear me out here. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. All right. And I don't know about every guy, but I'll tell you about me. When I was a young whippersnapper, like in high school, my sister used to have her friends come over, and my mom was like, Martika, the girl that came over, and name, oh yeah, Kim. But she came over, and my mom was just like, Kim, you need to come over a lot more because Chris cleaned this whole room thinking she'll come. She's not going over, but I just didn't want her to walk by past my room and be like, oh, your brother's room's terrible. I sprayed that bitch down. I was like, yo, I'm good. And it's just, I don't want no one to think that I'm just a nasty motherfucker. Like that's
All
weird.
right.
that's valid.
Okay.
That's valid.
That's
Yeah.
valid. That's a valid. I
And
mean, listen, these are valid things. These are. I'll say for myself, because we had this conversation because I sent you that skit, right?
Oh yeah.
And in the skit, I said I've been in so many of these situations before, and it's been like just for sex, and it's just like it's funny. And even my whole point of sending it is like the things people do for sex, but you're saying that if the apartment's dirty, you're not doing it.
Yeah. I
if
mean,
you get
there's so
talked out
many.
of a vibe, how's the apartment not fuck with you?
Right. I mean, like,
Well, no, talking about. I
worse.
mean, because if a girl reveals something traumatic to you, you're not gonna pull your Johnson out.
Now you got to bring it back. So like, there's more things.
Back to what?
There's more things. There's worse things that happen, right? Like just
Uh,
walking into a dirty apartment isn't that bad. Like we get judged on what car we drive, like what we wearing.
Fair
Like,
enough.
you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
So it's like, oh, he's driving this broke ass car. This nigga's broke.
Fair
I'm
enough.
fucking him. Like, what that got to do with my dick? That means I'm stingy. I'm starving down here. Like, you about to get it.
Well, if you correlated those two things like that, Tim, yeah, I guess so. So when you saying that she's thirsty for loving because her house is that dirty, like, yo, don't judge all this. I need it. The water ain't working, but it's working down here, baby. I'm like, oh shit.
I will openly
I don't
admit that
know.
I've said fuck it a couple of plenty of times. There've been a number of times where I've been in scenarios where it's funny because like in the surface outside looking at me, you look at me, I'm the type of individual that makes like smart decisions and doesn't do certain things. But I've been in some very stupid situations in some very sketchy neighborhoods for sex. For sex, ultimately. And it's what it is.
Same.
I think if you listen to me talk, anyone can tell you I'm not from the hood, right? Like I'm not a hood fellow, right? I'm a normal, I'm a suburbanite, right? So, but I've been in the hood several times because, I might be talking to somebody that I met there, and it's like, well, And it's funny because like the anxiety that happens when you jump into so I mean I'll say that I'm familiar, right? I understand like the Chicagoland area. I understand some do's and don'ts or whatever. I wouldn't necessarily call myself square, but I'm not like, a street cat neither, right? Like I just understand enough to get by. And because you understand like where you're at. And there's been a couple of times where the GPS like pulled up to and you parking, you look at the GPS that took you. It's like, oh shit, we're out here. All right.
We in or we
Hell
out?
no.
Let's go. Let's call her first.
You in or you out?
Make sure we isolate the apartment. Get in,
Man.
get back out. So I mean, with that being said, like I've been, I say this. I'm a person who doesn't really judge for real, and there's been a couple of times where I've seen some stuff that's like, oh wow, that's wild, but I guess we're here. So hi, and that's what it is. I understand what you're talking about, like talking out of vibe, but like I think it's different. Like if a girl reveals something to you that's kind of traumatic, and you go, "Oh, you're not gonna like try to have sex after that."
Oh, like yeah, she first off,
Mm-mm.
it depends. Like she's like, hey, I was molested as a child or some shit like that. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Just the next move shouldn't be like my Johnson's getting pulled out. Like that's probably not the best next move. But eventually, as time goes on, I'm not gonna be like, I ain't gonna have sex with her whole night. Because hopefully she's like over it after once. He's such a nice guy. And she's like, I hope he pulls out his Johnson. But it hopefully gets back to the on track. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad she opened up to me. We're here. Let's 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 comfort her and understand what's going on. But throughout the course of this night, hopefully get back to where I want to go.
See that same night? Nah.
But
I
what
feel
if
like
you?
on something like that, you have to wait for the next night.
I'm just saying, like you have to wait till the next night. You don't have to wait till the next night.
She might not. She might be like, well, let me just go ahead and show him, like, I don't want him to feel some type of way. So it's like, hopefully, I'm not gonna,
Oh yeah.
initiate that one, but I'm gonna go, please, God, help me out here. Like, I don't know why you told me that right now, and I'm very disturbed. And I hope she gets better. But I'm also here for a reason.
Well,
And that's a weird thing for someone to do if y'all aren't like cool. Like why the fuck she tell me that tonight? I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you talk. Some
That's
dudes
it.
don't really go in depth in their conversation. And I understand you're not going in depth in your conversation because you're trying to get to a point. And like I said, I'm probably
if you
talking,
like that person, yeah, like,
but
like,
ultimately, I'm not rocking with you unless I like you to some degree.
oh shit.
Like, so what I'm saying to you is this: is that I have to be fascinated. I have to be hold on. I have to be fascinated to some degree. To some degree, I have to be like, you're interesting. Like you're someone interesting.
That ass is interesting. I'm kidding.
And if you're
Yeah,
interesting,
something. I mean, that's
if you're
part of it.
interesting, I'm gonna talk to you. I just want to know what's going on. And honestly, it's just something. And back, like, and I'm telling you this. Back then, it's not like I was like doing this on purpose. Like this was subconscious. I just know what it is now. As an adult, I understand that. Okay, Mark, I guess dislikes people and just likes to understand like the different reasons why people do things. So Mark is interested. So Mark will have like if Mark is engaged with somebody, no matter what it is, whether it be friendship, business, whatever, Mark is always going to try to make the conversation somewhat intuitive, so Mark can understand the individual that he's dealing with. That's how Mark operates, no matter at any level, whether it be friends, casuals, enemies, sexual. That's typically how I've always been. Some dudes don't do that for obvious reasons, because sometimes you find out things and you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're not doing that now, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just how I've always been. But I mean, I understand like most dudes, or like, not even most dudes, I can understand the mentality of, because I mean, like sometimes you don't need to, right? Like sometimes you don't need to, like all this extra communication is unnecessary.
Yeah,
Right?
unless you're taking it to
So
the next step or something, like you're
Yeah,
invested.
now I understand that you're invested in, like, you guys have hung out a few times, and yeah, that becomes something different. But like if I've ever like really, like, not if I can't say if I really liked you, but it's just like, yeah, you take the time to talk to that person a little bit before it's just like, why you're here. It's more like oh, you want something to drink, want something to eat, let's go do this, and this, y'all hanging out. And then if that happens, it happens. But like then you got your 2 o'clock in the morning joint that's supposed to just be there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be damned if you start talking to me. I will be damned if you start talking that shit at 3 in the morning.
You stay to one song and one song only. Nah, I feel you. Nah, I mean, I think I had a mixed complex, I guess. Like, I definitely had to know her to some extent because, I don't know. For me, I couldn't deal with like a absolute like idiot, to say it kind of harsh. But
I get it.
I don't know. Like, but then there was that party side of like, you don't want to just come into it and be like, yo, what's your name? Where you from? Da da da. And it's just like, yo, you like me, I like you, we out. And
that was it.
that was it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, listen, I'll say this. Let's be clear. I have never like pulled a girl in the club and brought her back to the spot and did what I did. Same night. I've never done that. I've typically never done that. Typically, I like if you come back to the spot, it's because we've had some sort of discourse. Now, I've had girls who've come back to the spot after like, one or two of them, right? But it's never like, hey, I don't know who you from anyways. I don't know you from anything, but hey, why don't you come back over? I have homeboys who've done that, and it's like, and they have like a science. It's very interesting, like how they do it, and they know how to do it, and it's like, okay, that's impressive. that's impressive because they'll just decide like yep, it's time. And I was like, all right, we're homeboys. Like it was like, all right, we about to dip. And then like my homeboy, like he didn't leave. And then my man was just like, I was like, hey, yo, where's such and such? And I tried to go back and get him. And my man's grabbing like, nah. He about to fuck her. Like, leave him alone. They're like, he's good. Like, wait a minute, but he has no car. Like, how is he gonna back? Don't worry about it. He's good. It's like, okay. And we left him there. He's still alive, so apparently doing well.
Okay. Okay. Quite a few of those occasions.
I was waiting to see what car he was playing.
I don't know how to. I don't know the people's names half the time. Like it's. I've had those nights where I'm like, I don't even know your name, and I don't care to know.
Respect yourself, King.
That's what a condom's for.
Respect yourself, King.
Bro.
You worth more than that, King.
Those situations are weird. Because they're only weird for people that like kind of think through them. Like I had a situation like that halfway through, started thinking about it, and it's just like killed the vibe. It was just like, yeah, cut the car off. Like it was just like, yeah.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought of it. After I was done, I was like, so what you about to do? That was my favorite line. So what you about to go do? You can't stay here. I gotta lock the door. I gotta lock the door. So what are you about to do?
I gotta
like you're like, my sister don't like company and shit. So what are you about to go do? You're like, what do you mean? Yeah, you ain't staying the night here. I used to hate that shit. They laid down and was getting comfortable. Like, oh no, don't get comfortable. You gotta get up, baby. You gotta get up. Yeah, my sister, she crazy and motherfucker. She can come in here yelling and hooping and hollering, and I don't want you to be involved in all that. Right. That was my go-to line. Jesus Christ.
All right.
those are like my sister's my saving grace, yo. And then I have the text sometimes like, hey, I need you and you and your friend just come up the stairs real loud because they be out already. Like at a club or some shit. Come up the stairs all loud and shit and start going. I hope that one time they came out. I hope nobody in this bitch. And I was like, yeah, he's tripping right now. They tripping right now. Baby, you gotta get out of here.
Dang. That's perfect.
Oh, shit.
Exit strategy.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's strategy.
Well, guys,
that's science.
I almost stole. You want to clean that up before I close the podcast?
I was like, I love sleeping by myself. I hate sleeping with people. That was my motto. Like, I love sleeping by myself.
Well, guys, this has been another great episode of Logical Crazy Talk. We talked about half of the topics we were supposed to discuss. I guess we'll talk about it next week. Guys, definitely like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed and have been listening on a regular basis. Like I said last time, though, I mean, please leave the comment, drop a comment. When you see the post, please don't call me to talk about it. Please engage in the post. I promise we'll respond and we'll engage you in the post itself.
We have to do a better job on YouTube. I know you guys leave comments, and I know I only just heart them and like them, but we will definitely start commenting back on YouTube because we love y'all and we do love the feedback. Keep it up.
Definitely love the feedback. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, Logical Crazy Talk signing out for.
Oh, last thing.
Okay.
We're gonna the whole part where people are gonna come on and talk their shit. If you got a problem with something we said, come on and talk your shit.
Oh yeah. So I mean, hey, so we say a lot of
Speak on
different things based upon our opinions, and sometimes we may not do extra research, or sometimes we just talking about our opinions, and this is how it is. And a couple of people have expressed like they would like to come on and air out some of their grievances. So we're going to actually invite some of you guys on here. If you guys want to jump on a podcast and talk about some of our awesome topics that we talk about, definitely, or just want to address a past topic, we need some female correspondence. We need some female engagement. So I definitely, I'm gonna reach out. But I mean, hey, any of the ladies that listen to our podcast who'd love to jump on and respond to some of, I guess, the pseudo toxic stuff that we say, please definitely jump on.
It is like one-sided like hell.
I mean, yeah, because honestly, I would love to have a female perspective of being in the room and watching the guys huddle up. Like because I've talked to girls. I know that y'all know what's going on. Like I know y'all see it.
Their game plan, because they probably had a game plan coming into it too.
Oh, yeah,
So, I mean,
exactly.
I want to hear their game plan.
We're not all.
So we need some female correspondence. So definitely, please, ladies, if you listen to the podcast, please definitely jump on. We should make a clip of this, Chris. This should be the clip. The invite for the ladies to come on and give their response, because we need some some non-pseudo toxic stuff. We need some, or at least some female toxic stuff. We need to see what y'all be saying. So definitely. Other than that, we're gonna have some segments. Other than that, please like, share, subscribe. Logical Crazy Talk signing out. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey.